Hello, besties. So, welcome to another episode of Everything Hair. So, here's the before of this hair, and here is the after. So, these are Kloe chorus, and I'm going to be showing you how to achieve them. So, watch till the end. So, guys, if you're new to my page, it's your girl Bobokiddifashion. Thanks very much for stopping by. I hope you stay with us throughout this journey. I post amazing content and tutorials among my profiles. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, guys. Now let's get into this video proper. So here are the things you're going to be needing: your hot comb, your curler, your pencil straightener, your holding spray, your hair wax, your hair oil, your heat protector and your blow dryer, your hair clips, and yeah, any ones that pop up, you're just going to play along. So first we are going to begin by slicking and creating a seat bath. So this is a closure wig, right? So, and I love my parts at this side, like it suits my face more. So you're going to notice that most of my wigs are, I'm going to do a C part on them, but that's just a preference. So first I'm going to fix out my closure, do my baby hairs before I get started to the coiling process. So I'm just trying to perfect the C part, and because I touch it a lot, I end up doing the wrong thing. But that's by the way. So after doing that, I use my heat protector and my hair wax and my hot comb to just slick down the closure while I start. So I'm going to cut out the section that I'm going to use for my baby hairs, and then I'm going to do the same for the part down. So I'm just going to smoothen it out, make sure I have equal parts, and here's what it's looking like. Now I'm going to slick it down and kind of like separate it from the main closure at the back. So I actually went in as well to slick back the closure so that I can clearly see what I'm working with, because this helped me to work better if I don't have everything on my face. So next I use my tweezers to just reduce the thickness of the baby hairs, because when it's too thick it's not really that nice, right? And I always advise you cut it short, you cut it long and adjust it later rather than cut it short and now you're stuck. After doing that, I use my pencil straightener to curl the hair downwards, right? So yeah, so after that I'm just going to use my brush, or you could use your comb or whatever you're using to like mimic the part that the your baby hair is going to follow, right? So you can see me just slicking it down and curling it towards the direction I want it to follow. So for my beginners, I always advise you use hair mousse because it's easy to correct errors. We're using got to be glue or gorilla glue. It's a little bit difficult to correct errors because it's very sticky. So, but since I'm doing a glueless wig, I use it because it's going to last longer. So I just use it to follow the pattern I want my baby hair to go, and just be patient, guys. You're going to get it eventually. I have a whole video dedicated to how to make your baby hair come out perfectly, so you can check that out. So after doing that, I'm going to use my spritz to slick down my closure. I want this part to be perfectly slick like you can see here, and then I'm going to tie it down and proceed to coiling our hair so that we can get into the whole purpose of this video, which is Kloe coils. So I separate my hair into two, and then I separate that two into another two. I hope you're following. So I use my hair oil, just 1 or 2 drops is enough, and I massage the hair. So you're going to be taking your hair vertically. So your coiler, when you're coiling the left side, your coiler should be facing up, right? So take it like reverse bombshells with a twist. So your coiler should be facing up, and then you're going to take your sections vertically. So it's kind of like straight lines, not across, kind of like straight up. And your coiler is going to be facing up at all times. When coiling the left side, your coiler should be facing up. And that last strand of hair at the bottom, you're not going to coil it, you're going to let it sit. So after coiling this, I use my holding spray to hold it, and then I'm going to pin down the coils with some hair clips. So guys, when it comes to this hairstyle, I recommend maybe a 10-inch to 12-inch, right? The longer the hair, it doesn't really sit pretty. Or if the hair is not cut in like in a bob, right, it's not going to come out perfect. So that's just a recommendation. But then again, you can always do it with any length of hair. So we're going to proceed, and the next step, we're going to take it vertically. Our coiler is facing up. At each times our coiler is facing up. So, and you don't coil the last strand, right? That particular strand, you're not going to coil it, you're going to leave it like that, and then you're going to spray your holding spray and pin it down. And here's what it's going to look like. So this is how to do Kloe coils on your left side. So for the front side, you're just going to basically repeat the same process. Your coiler facing up, and you're going to coil it. So I use my holding spray to slick down those flyaway hair. Since we're at the front part, we want it to give perfection, right? So yeah, so I'm just going to repeat the same thing, spray our holding spray and then pin it down, and we are done with one section. Now let's go to the right section. When you're on the right section, you'll see taking your hair vertically, right? Yeah, and then you're going to take your coiler and you're going to go in, like I said, think of reverse bombshells with a twist. Now your coiler is facing downward. At all times when coiling the right side, your coiler should be facing downward. And you're just basically going to repeat the same process like you did for the previous side, which is the left side. But the only difference is your coiler is facing downward. When you get to that last strand of hair, you're not going to coil it, you're going to leave it out. That's what really gives that style the perfect finish and look that you're going for. So yeah, so I'm just holding this to make sure the heat is going through all the hair before I release it, and I'm going to be moving bit by bit. You're not in a haste, guys. So yeah, so take your time, do it bit by bit, and you're going to have the perfect result. So like I said, when it comes to the length type for this hair, it really comes out best on 10-inch hair, maybe 10-inch, 11, 12-inch bob wigs, right? But when you have a wig that is kind of not uniform, maybe the back part is longer than the front part, it's not really going to give what you expect it to give. So, but then again, like I said, you can always use this style for any wig of your choice. But if you want that perfect Kloe coils, the perfect finish, that wow, you're going to look for a wig that is a bob wig, straight cut, perfect, and you're going to use that, and you're going to see the difference with that and using a normal straight on uniform wig. So after doing that, I'm going to spray my holding spray, and then I'm going to pin it down. Yep, now we are going to move to the next. So I'm just trying to straighten this part because seems as if I mistakenly coiled it. Yep. Guys, I always improvise, please don't judge me. I don't know what I was thinking. I mistakenly coiled it, so I want to straighten it back because that tip needs to stay put. So yeah. So here's what our wig is looking like right after finishing it. So now I've transferred it, and here's what it's looking like. Very beautiful, right? So here's what the wig is supposed to look like: the left side and the right side. On the left side, your coiler is facing up. On the right side, your coiler is facing down, right? And when you take it out, this is what it's supposed to look like. So when after taking this out, you could just use your hands to separate it, or you could use a white tooth comb to comb it out. Whichever you prefer works perfectly fine. So I just use a, holding spray, my hairspray, to give it that shine, right? And you can see me just pass my fingers through it. So here's what I was talking about, the length of hair. So when you've been in this game for a while, you're going to notice, I actually forgot one thing. You're going to notice that different hair types work with different hairstyles. Like you can't take a straight hair and coil it and expect it to come out like a bone straight. You can't expect coils to hold on a bone straight as perfect as it holds on a bouncy unit. You can't expect Kloe coils to hold on a normal straight wig like it's going to hold on a bob wig which has been cut with precision. It's You're going to have different outcomes. So that's what I was trying to explain. So your wig is going to come out differently depending on the unit you're using for that. So that was just something to always put in mind, especially especially as clients. When you're coming to get your hair done, you need to pay attention to the unit you have, if it's going to give what you're looking for. So that's just a tip, but nevertheless, you can always make it work with what you have, and we just hope you're satisfied. But it's also our place to advise you on what to do next. So here's what it's looking like, and thanks very much for watching, guys. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.